Hey, what's up everyone? It's Ben Zinn with nextlevelguitar.com. Thanks for checking out this video today. And today what we have is 3 must-know open string devices. And what we mean by that is 3 approaches or general techniques that you can use as a building block to create your own licks and riffs. Basically some conceptual stuff. We have 3 cool examples, basically taking advantage of one of the things that makes guitar so great, playing open strings in conjunction with fretted notes. So 3 licks, go ahead and strap on your guitars and we will just dive right in. Hey, by the way, if you dig the videos that we bring to you, be sure and hit the subscribe button. If you hit subscribe, what we'll do is let you know every time we post one of these. That way we can keep you in the loop. And if you dig what we're doing in this one, give us a thumbs up. We always appreciate that. We have our comments down below. Feel free to share your thoughts, ask questions. We love hearing from you guys. Our first one is based around the concept of playing a bent note in conjunction with an open string. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to play an open A string with my pick, and then with my finger of my right hand, I'm going to bend the 4th fret of the 3rd string up a whole step. And what's going on here, if you play these together, we get this nice sweet sound of this note being bent up to pitch. I like to call this a pure 3rd interval. And just a little bit of background on this. When we play a regular 3rd, that note, by nature of how the guitar is tuned, is actually a little bit sharp. So by bending the note as opposed to playing the fretted version, you actually get more of a pure sound, and you can really take advantage of this to create some sweet sounding licks. So the idea is to bend up to the 3rd, and you're listening for that point when the beat pulse of the 2 notes ringing together kind of stops. You can hear that tension, and when you get it in tune, you'll know that sweet spot if you listen carefully. So this is the general idea that we can use as a template to develop our licks. This works really well in the key of A, obviously, because we have an open A string. It also works really well for an E chord, of course, because we have an open E string. So you can get the same concept by playing the open E string and bending the 2 up to the 3 in terms of the scale tone. This is actually the 4th fret, though, of the 4th string.
Sounds almost pedal steely like licks, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. That's what we're going for there. Kind of get that sweet spot. And you can start to use this as an improvisational device, right? If I'm playing something that goes from an A to an E chord, that's kind of how we bring that concept into life, I think, right? So in this example, we're executing that open A string with the fretted note bend, and I'm just going to work down the scale a little bit here, picking. So what that was a pick and release of that bent note from before. Pick, release. We're just working down some fretted notes. Now we're going to play the same concept on E. Basically the same idea. Close out with an A power chord. So that gives us a nice lick that we can use that concept with. Basic idea, though, is to find an open string and see where you can bend the 3rd of the scale into that pure 3rd, right? One last maybe example here. We take an open D string and I find the F note here on the 2nd string, 6th fret. I'm going to bend this up just a little bit. That's like a half step below. But again, I'm looking for that pure 3rd. Anywhere I can find an open string. And we we can use that as a jumping off point. Open strings, that's what we love, right? Also, do want to mention, if you're digging what you're seeing here, we are just basically scratching the surface of a lot of these concepts. And if you want to dig into more detail, what we've done is put together a free video lesson and a coinciding ebook that's not available on YouTube. We're going to delve into these ideas more. We're going to have scales diagrammed out, all kinds of possibilities expanded. And we want to provide that to you. All you have to do is just click on the link that you see below, and we'll send that to you for free from Next Level Guitar. So our next example is a nice way to approach like a scale run using a combination of fretted notes with open strings. So what we're going to do is do some wide stretches here. It's a nice kind of fun way to ascend through the notes without just playing everything fretted, right? It gives us a different sound and a different flavor, which we like. So the concept here is I'm going to start from a low note and work my way up to a higher note, and anywhere where it is possible to play an open string, I'm going to make that choice. So we'll kind of talk through this here. I'm going to play a G note. The next note in my scale would be an A note, which I could get here. Instead, I'm going to play it open on the 5th string. Okay. Then I'm going to play a B note over here. C note right here. Next note I'm going to play is a D, but I can get this as open, so I'm going to choose to do that. So backing up, we have fretted G, open A, fretted B, fretted C, open D, right? Okay. Fretted E, F, open G. So up to that point. So we like that. Okay, we're going to go to a fretted A right here, a fretted B flat, and then an open B. It works really well in G because all of the open strings kind of fit in that key. Okay, then we're going to hit C right here, D right here, open E, and finally the end of my little run here. I've been closing out with the F. So the basic concept then. And over here on the right hand, you'll notice there's some hybrid picking going on. So my basic concept on playing this kind of stuff at the right hand is to think in terms of groupings of 3. So I have pick, middle, ring, and I'm either going to be at this grouping, this grouping, this grouping, or this grouping. And as necessary, I'll shift grouping. We can get a nice shot of how this works here with just the right hand. One more time here. So there we have a great concept I think you can get a lot of mileage out of. The basic idea there is if you're doing a scalar type run, you're going from low to high or high to low, anytime that you can replace a fretted note with an open string, it's worth checking out. It takes a little bit of juggling to decide if you're playing, you know, a fretted note versus an open string. It's a little disorienting, but I think it can be really cool. Nice thing to check out. I'd recommend, you know, keeping to some of the more open string friendly keys when you do that. Otherwise, those notes are hard to find. So, moving on, we have one more open string concept for you. And this one's fairly straightforward, but again, I think this is a great way to spice up your chord progressions. And this is just the idea of looking for open drone strings against a moving set of chords. So the basic idea here is if I have a chord progression, so there we have a 4-chord progression, some bar chords, E minor, D minor, C to G. Sounds just fine like that. I think what's really nice though to add variety to that is to find one open string that fits against all of those chords, and you can have that as a drone string ringing against the movable chords. So in this case, if I adapt my fingering of my chord here to leave the open first string ringing the whole time, we get a nice little sound there. So what we have to do to modify here is to take our stock bar chord, and instead of barring all the way down, I'm going to lift up and leave that first string open so that we can hear that guy ringing through. Whereas before I played a D bar chord like this, it's difficult to bar with the ring finger and leave the first string open, so I'm going to modify the chord shape here. I'm going to use the third finger and the pinky finger, and I'm going to omit the third string, and here's why. Now I can strum through and catch that first string open. Okay, we're going to take that same shape and move it down here to C. And finally, our G bar chord here. Again, same idea where we're going to, instead of barring all the way across, I'm going to lift up pressure here and get that open E string. Now let's listen to these side by side. And so that open string idea, I think, is just one device that you can use to add some texture to your chord progressions. The concept there is to look for one open string that maybe works against all of the chords that you're playing, and just experiment. You know, if something doesn't sound right to you, then you can always change it. Again, these are devices that we can use, open string devices, a few concepts that you can use to advance our creativity. That's what this is all about. Okay, that brings us to a close for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. Head over to the website, nextlevelguitar.com. Right now we have a 3-day free all-access pass for all of the videos on the site. You can check it out, cruise around, see what you dig.
Over 2,000 lessons.
$2 grand.
That's a lot.
2,000. That's a lot of lessons.
It's an archive.
That is a armada of lessons.
All levels, all styles.
Totally. We got everything that you want to check out there, whatever your tastes or skill levels are. There's something there for you to check out. So nextlevelguitar.com is the website. Thanks again. I'm Ben Zinn, and I'll see you next time.